Hey guys, it's Jack here today, and today I'm going to be giving you my Dream Theater album ranking. This is not including live albums or EPs, so don't expect them here. Although Change of Seasons is a great album, it is an EP, not a full length, so with that out of the way, I'm also going to warn you there are some hot takes here. I like a specific era from Dream Theater the most, and that's what I tend to stick to. So, if you're more of a modern Dream Theater fan, this video probably isn't for you. You're probably going to disagree with most of the things I have to say here, as I'm very much an old school Dream Theater fan for the most part. So, with that out of the way, these are my favourite Dream Theater albums from worst to best. So, my absolute least favourite, without a doubt, this album nearly put me to sleep on several listens. I've gave it a few shots and I cannot name a single redeemable track on it. I think it's one of the few albums ever that I would give a 0 out of 10. This is The Astonishing from 2016. Even the singles couldn't save it. The Gift of Music and Our New World. Fucking horrendous album. Avoid at all costs. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. It sounds completely like the lyrics are just completely self obsessed, contrived, uninteresting. Avoid this album. I mean, I know some people defend it, that's cool, but for me and to my ears, this is complete uninspired dribble. The Astonishing from 2016. Easily at last place, and for me, one of the few albums I would give a 0 out of 10. The fact that throughout this album, I was thinking to myself, I've heard pop albums better than this, and I don't like pop music, tells you something. Horrendous album, The Astonishing from 2016. Avoid. Next up, second to last, another album that I would mostly avoid. I know some people love it. It seems to be a love it or hate it album. I think there are a few redeemable tracks, but all in all, this was a huge disappointment, and certain tracks on this had me nearly asleep. Dream Theater's self-titled album. This does seem to be a love it or hate it album. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. There is two redeemable tracks on this album. Don't worry, we are going to get to some good albums, but let's just get the shit out of the way, in my opinion. I'm not saying this is total shit like The Astonishing, but it's not an album I enjoy too much. I love The Enemy Inside, and I really enjoy Behind the Veil, and I was skimming through just now thinking, like, are there any songs I'm missing particularly? Nah, not really. That is about as good as it gets me. I love The Enemy Inside. I did back then, and I still do now. And yeah, Behind the Veil is a really strong track. And everyone raves about Illumination Fury, but it just doesn't excite me very much. Some people say like that's one of their best songs. But yeah, no, it's okay. I think the whole thing is just okay. Certain songs really sent me to sleep, like the Looking Glass, the Bigger Picture. I don't like this one too much. I know some people do, and some people completely hate it. I don't hate it, but I find it very boring for the most part. Besides the songs I mentioned, so there we go. Self-titled album. If you love this album, cool. More power to you. I just think it's uninspired. Another album, and this one is really going to tick people off. And this is where I said, take this, take this list with a pinch of salt, like any album ranking. But hot takes ahead, just a heads up. Distance Over Time is next. And I'm not one of these people that's just going to say, oh, that album's great just because everyone hops onto it. And I'm not saying it's a bad album. It is quite a bit better than the self titled, but to me, it just feels quite uninspired in certain parts. Like, there's certain stuff on this that is equally as bad as self titled for me. Just very cheesy. Just like, it just sounds so obnoxious and I don't know. There's just something about this era of Dream Theater, like with certain songs that just really, really rub me up the wrong way, and the lyrics just seem so like self-obsessed almost, and just I don't even know the best way to describe it. They just sound obnoxious in certain songs, and that's just how I see it. Some fans may, absolutely love this, and I know a lot of people do, but to me, just something feels off about this album. But there are a few tracks, literally just a few tracks that like. Untethered Angel is fantastic, and when that song came out, I thought, holy shit, hopefully this is going to be a great album. And there's nothing bad about it. I think it has some of the worst songs on it. Paralyzed is really good as well. Fall Into the Light isn't too bad, but even by that point, I'm already kind of done with the album. And from there on, it just gets worse for me. Just my opinion. I know a lot of people love this album, and I wish I did as well. But for me, it is one of their worst. Next, we have A View from the Top of the World, and I know everyone absolutely loved this album. And at the time, like, I listened to The Alien, and yeah, it's a good song, but I just something was still missing for me. And I wasn't gonna lie at the time. I didn't lie at the time and say I loved it when I didn't. And I just didn't get it like everyone just seemed to like fucking love it at the time, and I was just like, yeah, it's a good album, but I was just missing something, and I still feel the same way now. I like it a bit more. Invisible Monster, Sleeping Giant, and Awaken the Monster are a few of my favorites. I really like them tracks. And the closing title track is pretty cool, even though it's pretty long. I quite like that song. The Alien, I kind of think's a bit overrated. It's a decent lead-off track, but even at the time, I just thought, why is everyone going mad over it? It's been done before. But a decent album. We're getting into decent here now, and I do think it's a bit better than Distance Over Time. At least there's a few more like really good tracks on it. But this era Dream Theater, something just seemed a little missing for me. But there is one album that I absolutely love from this era, so we'll get to that in a bit. But a fairly decent album, and I like it quite a bit more than Distance Over Time, and it could grow on me as well. So we're getting into better albums now. Next up is When Dream and Day Unite, their debut. A lot of people have this last or like second to last next to Astonishing, but I really like this album. I think it's better than a lot of their more recent stuff. As you can see, it's above Self-Titled, it's above Distance Over Time, it's above View from the Top of the World. I think this is a better album all the way. Obviously, it was with their original vocalist who just stayed for this album. I just think it sounds more inspired, better songs, sounds more authentic and real, whereas a lot of the modern stuff to me just sounds like it was just put together for the sake of it. You have Yutzi Jam, Light Fusing Getaway, Afterlife, and The One Who Set the Sun are a few of my favourites. So I had to write them down, as if not, I'd forget. My memory's terrible. And the first song, Fortune in Lies, is really good as well. I didn't write that one down, but that's another really good one. I really like this album. It seems to be a love or hate album. Like, some people have it decently high, like, mid of the pack. I've never met anyone that has it as their number one, or people have it right at the bottom. Fair play. I think it's a really good album. So there we go. Next, we have A Dramatic Turn of Events. And I know there's some fans that are going to think, why the hell is this above Distance Over Time and View from the Top of the World? Well, I think it's better, personally. I think the songs sound more inspired. I think it's better put together, better produced. And it does have a few songs where I'm just like, I don't really like Outcry that much. And Far From Home, I think it's called, the following track. They're okay, and I forget the name of the closing track. That one's okay. Some of it is just kind of just there. But the songs I love, I really love, like On the Back of Angels, Build Me Up, Break Me Down, Lost Not Forgotten, Breaking All Illusions. As I said, Outcry is okay. Breaking All Illusions is fucking fantastic. I forget the name of the closing track. That one's okay as well. I haven't written down all my favourites, but yeah. On the Back of Angels, Build Me Up, Break Me Down, Lost Not Forgotten, and Breaking All Illusions are really good. With my favourite probably being Lost Not Forgotten. I really like that. A lot of people say Breaking All Illusions, but I'd say Lost Not Forgotten is probably my favourite on the album. I will say as well, the video for On the Back of Angels is kind of cheesy as well. It's just like, They're just like on this big screen in the middle of a city, and it's just like, why? It's just, I don't know, it's kind of cheesy, but all in all, I really like this album. I think it's a lot better than some of the other ones which I mentioned. As I said, hot takes, but this is the fun of these rankings, right? Like, not everyone's going to agree, and that's fine. You know, this is it's opinion at the end of the day. Music isn't a fact. Next we have Black Clouds and Silver Linings. I know a lot of people have this in their top 5, and that's absolutely fine. I just don't quite see the hype, to be honest. I think it's a really solid album, but I won't go any further than that. Nightmare to Remember opens up the album. I don't even have to look at favourites. I know this album pretty damn well. It's one of the most famous. Nightmare to Remember, A Rite of Passage. I even think Wither's pretty solid. I'll give you that. What's the next song? Fucking, it's the Shattered Fortress. There we go. Shattered Fortress. Best of Times is the next song. That one's okay. I've put it with Wither as one of the weaker ones, but it's cool. I like it a bit more than Wither. And then the Count of Tuscany. Yeah. Count of Tuscany is one of the best on the album, along with Shattered Fortress and, you know, Nightmare to Remember, Rite of Passage. It's a solid album. It's a really, really solid album. But I just like others better. That's just how it goes sometimes. Really good album. Some people are probably clicking off the video already, as I haven't put this in the top 5 or top 7 or so on. But I'm not going to lie, this is how I feel. It's a really good album. So we're kind of like right in the middle of the pack now. So there we go. Falling into Infinity. This is another one people either have like right by the bottom or, you know, bottom 4. But I love this album, and this is probably one of the hottest takes here. I remember the first time I heard this album, like, everyone was complaining, like, nah, don't check it, don't listen to Falling into Infinity. It's such a disappointment following Awake. And as I said, I'm not one of those people that is just gonna, like, fucking agree because it's popular opinion. No, I make my own mind up, and that's how everyone should be. New Millennium, I actually have the album as well. New Millennium, You Not Me as well. A lot of people hate that song, but I really like You Not Me. Peruvian Skies is fantastic. Lines in the Sand, Take Away My Pain, and Trial of Tears as well. This is a really solid album. I wouldn't call it a great album, but it's a good album. It's a very good, it's above solid, decent album, and one that I think more people should check out. I honestly hope this one, like, if I ever do another ranking of Dream Theater, I hope this one rises higher, as I think it has a real certain charm to it. Like, it's different, and I think that's the reason it's the red herring with a lot of fans. It's so different to Awake and Images and Words and so on, and obviously Metropolis, which followed it, and it's kind of just like the red herring in the middle. But this is a great album, and I honestly hope it rises higher in my ranking if I do another one. Great album. Really, really solid. Next up is Parasomnia. So I know what you're thinking. You didn't like the previous 4 or 5 albums, and you like this one. Yeah, I love this album. And honestly, I was literally about to give up on Dream Theater following up View from Top of the World. I was thinking, like, really? Like, you know, the albums are just sounding too mediocre. There's no oomph to it. What happens? Mike Portnoy comes back, his first album since Black Clouds and Silver Linings, and he brings back the magic. As I said, there just felt something missing, and it was Mike Portnoy who left the band in 2010 abruptly, and he's back, and Dream Theater's back. The minute this album started, like, I kept saying to myself, this is going to be shit just like Views Up the World. I could not have been any more wrong. This album is back to the Dream Theater we all know and love, in my opinion. I know some people love the previous albums that I mentioned that I didn't like. But this album is back to that real oomph that a lot of us older fans of Dream Theater, you know, miss. And yeah, fan-fucking-tastic album. In the Arms of Morpheus, Night Terror, A Broken Man, Dead Asleep, and Midnight Messiah are just a few of my favourites. And let me tell you, Dead Asleep had me fucking, like, my jaw was on the floor. In the Arms of Morpheus is just fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful intro to the album. A Broken Man had my jaw on the floor, and Midnight Messiah has some of the best riffs Dream Theater's ever done. And again, just like Falling into Infinity, I hope this album rises higher in my ranking. I don't think it's ever going to be number one, but I could see it being top three, maybe top five one day. Who knows? But it's the best album they've done since Systematic Chaos. I can confidently say that. It's better than Black Cloud and Silver Linings. Some people are going to crucify me for saying that, but I honestly think so. As someone who prefers the heavier, more proggy Dream Theater, this is it for me. One of their best. One of the best. A great album. Next is another one I own. Octavarium, their Muse influence album. And I debated whether to put Parasomnia in front of this, but I've only just listened to Parasomnia in full all the way through, and I've had more time with this one, but I could see, honestly, Parasomnia rising higher, so take that what you will. Root of All Evil opens it up. These Walls is another solid track. I Walk Beside You. A lot of people don't like that one, but I really like it. Panic Attack, Never Enough, and Sacrificial Sons are a few favourites. The Answer Lies Within is another good song. And yeah, I really like this album. First time I heard it, I thought, what the actual fuck? Train of Thought, like, is their heaviest album, and they come up with this, and it's like, they were like, their influence at the time was Muse with the album Absolution, and you can absolutely hear that, no pun intended. And you can hear it a little bit as well on the next album, Systematic Chaos, but I think it really pays off. Like, when you get past the fact that, like, the song Never Enough sounds exactly the same as Stockholm Syndrome by Muse, just a little bit heavier. Like, even the vocals and everything, but it works. It really works when you give it more time. Like, yeah, when you get past that initial, what the fuck is this? What are they going for? Dream Theater sold out kind of feeling. It really works. Give it more time if you still feel that way. It's a good album. A great listen. Octavarium. Next up, Systematic Chaos. Yes, I like this album more than, you know, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, Distance Over Time, and so on. You know, I just think this album works a lot better. Personally, I think this has some of their best tracks. It's one of their best structured albums. It's one of their best, like, varied albums. Like, there's a little bit of everything on it, and I just think it's one of their best, as one of their best cover arts as well, like with the ants and like with the highway thing in the background. I just really love this album. And yeah, I don't really have much, like, negativity to say about Systematic Chaos. In the Presidents of Enemies Part 1 and 2, Forsaken, Constant Motion, The Dark Eternal Night, and Repentance are a few real favourites of mine. But yeah, I don't have much negativity to say about Systematic Chaos. I think it's one of their best produced, one of their best executed. Like, it flows from start to finish. There's very little to complain about with Systematic Chaos. It's just a great album that really works from start to finish. Trying to figure out where we are in the ranking. I've literally been listening to Dream Theater non-stop the last few weeks, like, debating what to put where. And we're now in the top 5. And 5 and 4, I debated which to put where, as I think some days I like one of them more and the other one more. But ultimately, in terms of which is more influential, which has stayed with me longer, which I can just listen to no matter what, I have to put Awake as my 5th favourite. We're going to count down from 5 to 4 on these, as the rest, the rest is the rest, right? They're all really, some are shit, some are solid, and, the upper, 10 to 6 are good to great, right? Whatever. But the top 5 are all great. So I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. 5th place is Awake, and this is the one I said some days could be 4, but I think in terms of like which I can go back to pretty much any time, the 4th one just obliterates it by a little bit. But in 5th place we have Awake, opening up with 6 o'clock. This album is just so well put together. It's just so well, just you can literally just put it on and it's just start to finish, just perfection in the way it's executed, in the way one song just carries into another. I have 2 copies of it, one that came with my Dream Theater box set and the other just, I've had this album years. It's one of my most favourites of theirs. And it's one that I hold a lot of nostalgia for, so that's probably why I prefer the older Dream Theater stuff, as it's the stuff I grew up on. 6 o'clock, Caught in a Web, Innocence Faded, Voices, The Silent Man, The Mirror, Lie, and Lifting Shadows Off a Dream are a few favourites. The whole album's fantastic, and one of my favourites. As I said, it could be 4 some days, but I think ultimately my 4th place. It's just an absolutely legendary album. And yeah, in 4th place, Images and Words. I mean, come on. Pull Me Under is just legendary. The full 8 minutes and 11-second version, the single version, they take so much out of that song. It's unbelievable. Like, it just doesn't even feel like the same song. Another Day, Take the Time, Surrounded, Metropolis Part 1, and another favourite of mine is Wait for Sleep. Beautiful, beautiful track that a lot of people forget about. And Learning to Live is really solid as well. Great, great song. And yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing album. It's a classic. Some people's number 1, but my number 4. And it's a classic. It's a 10 out of 10. I'd give Awake about a 9.5. But Images and Words is a 10 out of 10. That's like the first 10 out of 10 on this album. The top 4 10 out of 10s. 5th place, 9.5 for Awake. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Another 10 out of 10 album at number 3 is 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. I don't own this album yet, but it is one of my favourites. This album's had me in tears several times for its emotional connection, the story it tells, the balance of bleak and more mellow songs is just, it's perfection. The way it's executed, the way it just balances so much in one piece. You know, some of the tracks are just I mean, The Glass Prison opens it up and is one of the heaviest Dream Theater songs ever. Into Blind Faith, Misunderstood, that song's had me in tears so many times as well. The Great Debate and Solitary Shell. That song, just something about it makes me cry. It's not a typical sounding Dream Theater song. It's quite sort of melancholic, and the story it tells. I'm not going to spoil, you know, what the song's about and where the album goes to next, but that song just has me in tears every time for some reason. Just the emotional punch that some of these songs, you know. As I said, where are we? Misunderstood has literally had me in tears as well, and I love this album. And sorry, I'm just trying to keep track. I've got like so much written down for where I've like decided to put everything. This was hard between my top 2, and I almost felt bad putting what I have at number 2 as it's widely regarded the best. You probably already know which one I mean, but I honestly think my number 1 is still my favorite. You know, like, it was my favourite for the longest time, and then I thought, nah, this other one's better. But it isn't, in my opinion. I think my number 1 is still my favourite. And I'll go into why. My number 2 album, still a 10 out of 10, but I like 1 just a little more. And this is their best album in terms of how it's executed, in terms of the storytelling, in terms of, you know, musicianship. It is their best album. It's just not my favourite. But second place is Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. Most people's number 1, either this or Images and Words. but I like one album just a bit more. It's my number 2, and I nearly put it at number 1. Obviously, you have Strange Deja Vu, Fatal Tragedy, Beyond This Life, Home, The Dance of Eternity, and The Spirit Carries On. Amazing album. Amazing album. Finally Free as well. What a fucking amazing song as well. I nearly put it at number 1, and some days it honestly is. Like, it's between this and number 1, but I think for the bleaker, just more fucking in your face tone that my number 1 has, it has to be. It was my favourite for the longest time, and then Metropolis took over. And Images and Words, even for a while, was my number 1, but Train of Thought again is my favourite. Like, as I said, Metropolis took over for a while, but I'm lying to myself if I say this isn't my favourite. They just went full fucking heavy on this album, and I can't lie to myself, it's my favourite. As I Am, This Dying Soul, Endless Sacrifice, Honour Thy Father, and In the Name of God. I mean, Jesus Christ, the riff on As I Am is just fucking amazing. And This Dying Soul is my favourite song on the album. So there you have it. This has been a long time coming. I've been like debating which goes where. I've literally just finished listening to absolutely everything, including A Change of Seasons. So sorry if this has took a little longer. Like, if this video is a bit longer than expected in length, but I have been debating even through this video, like, should I have, like, what should I have put in the top 5? Like, should I have put that higher? But ultimately, I'm pretty happy with that one now. I'm kind of curious if Parasomnia does go up the ranking. That's why I've been a bit anxious on, like, what goes where, because I think Parasomnia and Falling into Infinity could grow on me. But for now, I'm pretty happy with that. So, from top to bottom, Astonishing at the bottom, Dream Theater, self-titled, second to bottom. Distance Over Time, View from the Top of the World, When Dream and Day Unite, Dramatic Turn of Events, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, Falling into Infinity, Parasomnia, Octavarium, Systematic Chaos, Awake, Images and Words, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, and my favourite, Train of Thought. But I'm going to give it a bit more thought and see if Parasomnia and a few others grow on me, and maybe I'll do another Dream Theater album ranking in about a month's time and see if anything's, flipped around and my rankings changed. Because, as I said, I've literally just finished listening to absolutely everything. So yeah, there you have it, my Dream Theater album ranking. Literally the last fortnight, just non-stop and listening to Dream Theater to get up to date. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. And I might see you in about a month for an updated Dream Theater album ranking. Till next time, stay metal.